So you're really an 80s fan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Cindy Crawford, here's some more stuff for you.
I didn't do anything wrong.
It's I Love the 80s Strikes Back, and this is 1989. Again. The flicks, the fashions, the trends, the tunes, the TV. A totally awesome year that gave us even more burning questions. How much fun can you have with the dead guy?
I would think that after a while he would start stinking.
It's just Bernie.
Was Doogie Howser, MD, really such a genius?
Not smart enough to take up gynecology at 15 years old.
And was Richard Marx's hair just long or something more evil?
Richard, if you're trying to think he didn't have a mullet, he did.
I made some mistakes.
Plus, everybody's favorite baseball hustler.
He's a legend. I did not bet on baseball.
And naughty girls like Samantha Fox need love too.
Wasn't she like a porn star or something?
Because you can't get enough 80s because you're still faking orgasms, admitted.
Yes! Yes!
This is 1989 Strikes Back.
Why don't we just pretend he didn't die? Just for a bit.
Weekend at Bernie's. Oh my gosh, hilarious.
It's the greatest movie ever made.
Doesn't anyone realize he's dead?
Weekend at Bernie's is the comedy for people who really don't pay attention. Because if you did, you would be really upset.
Basically, the whole movie revolves around, like, what can we do with this dead body?
Weekend at Bernie's was the dumbest movie in the world, and people were looking at it like it was just Casablanca.
It's funny because they're keeping this dead guy alive, and he's just like this the whole time, and it's hilarity ensues. It's Weekend at Bernie's.
It's just Bernie!
You're like, God, this movie's been going on for quite a while. Somebody's got to discover he's dead.
Oh my God, this can't be happening to me.
3 whole days.
Ladies, hello! How are you today?
I would think that after a while he would start stinking.
When you die, you on yourself. So you're thinking like that, you know?
Hey, Bernie around? Oh, Bernie.
Bernie seems to get laid more than they do.
Did everything go okay up there?
Never been better.
Like, girls are still coming on to Bernie. He's still got mojo even though he's dead.
I get laid more dead than I do alive.
I don't think anybody walked out of Weekend at Bernie's without thinking, well, I hope I have that much fun when I'm dead.
The most amazing thing about Weekend at Bernie's was that it set the stage for Weekend at Bernie's 2. The decomposition years.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ladies! We'll see you later!
Why can't I just be a normal kid?
Because you're not a normal kid. You're Doogie Howser, MD.
Doogie Howser, I did not find believable, I'm sorry.
I have to admit, I watched Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser was a 15-year-old doctor who, despite his age, wanted to be taken seriously, which is why he named himself Doogie.
Dr. Howser, you will behave.
Don't talk to me like you're my father. You're not.
Doogie was cool. He was the youngest doctor, like, on planet Earth, and he knew just what to do in every situation.
All right, lay back, relax. Take 2 cleansing breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth.
Doogie Howser was really smart, but not smart enough to take up gynecology at 15 years old.
He's a weird genius doctor, so you can't really relate to the normal kids.
You know, the average age for teenagers to have sex is 16.2 for females and 15.7 for males.
Doogie doesn't have time for heavy betting. He has lives to save.
We should probably get back to the ER.
He'd like solve all these horrible diseases and stuff. And he would do it all with his faithful sidekick, Vinny.
Hey, Doug. How you doing? Let's go.
Give me a big hug, you studly man.
You know, here's the real kid. Here's the normal kid.
Sex tomorrow night after the dance.
Vinny was definitely kind of like your basic not-so-bright Guido.
At the end of every show, he types on his computer and has his little revelations. Kind of like Sex and the City now.
Dear Diary, Today I learned that friendship is like an aorta.
Today I learned that I shouldn't, try to hit on girls when they don't understand about coronaries.
That was just another whole character that was just bad for redheads.
Can you imagine me in the hospital? It's like, dude, I got really bad hernia. Okay, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna operate on you.
You could just hold a little still, Mr. Finkelstein.
Go home, go play Jenga, okay? Please.
Doctor, give me the news. I've got a bad case of loving you. Samantha Fox.
Samantha Fox, I want to have some fun. This is like, did somebody say skis?
I want to have some fun.
Move my body all night long.
I did like Samantha Fox. I didn't like her music, but she was fine for the age. She had that 80s fineness.
My look in the 80s was about being myself, really. My jeans, my jean jacket.
She had a boob thing going on.
Booby girl.
She had a rack?
Wasn't she like a porn star or something?
It turns out Samantha Fox had been in some newspaper in England where they show boobs.
She's not really a musician, is she? Bless her. Sorry, Sam.
Samantha Fox was enough to make me want to be a feminist, and this is me at 14.
Presenting a way to make life a lot simpler. The Clapper.
The light switch is right here. You're like, no, I want to clap it on.
It's actually something you plug into the wall and clearly electrocute yourself with.
I know people had the clap, but never the clapper.
It does look like there's a chia pet inside. It's the same design, it's the same lettering. It is as if you clap and green grass will grow as well as your appliance going on and off.
The scariest thing was the old lady who would turn off her lights at the end of the commercial. She would do it like this.
Oh, the damn thing. I can't turn the lights on.
Damn you, Clapper!
Coming up, what voices would you hear at the Field of Dreams?
If you touch me, I will come.
Plus, fond memories of 30-something.
I wish they were now 50-something and I could hear about menopause.
And not everyone thought yuppies were scum.
I'm sure I slept with a few.
Next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back 1989. But first, log on to VH1.com for everything 80s. Artist info, photo galleries, CD purchases, and great 80s trivia games. So 1989.
Because this boy too has love without a reason, I, Boy George, console you with the breakup songs of 1989. How am I supposed to live without you? By Michael Bolton. Miss You Much by Janet Jackson. And Free Falling by Tom Petty. The breakup songs of 89. Aren't you prepared to let go now?
Field of Dreams. Kevin Costner, man, that was a cool movie.
It's a father-son kind of movie.
With Kevin Costner, here's some voice telling him if you build it, they will come.
If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come. If you build it, they will come. If you build it, he will come. If you touch me, I will come.
You think I'm crazy?
Who are you, huh? What do you want from me?
This guy's hearing voices in an Iowa cornfield, and he doesn't run for his life. That's odd.
I think we've all heard inner voices saying things like, hey, Mike, go on 80 Strike Back. That'd be good for your career.
If you really feel you should do this, then you should do it.
He's going to pave his field and turn it into a baseball-themed amusement park featuring ghosts of players, including his father, who never loved him.
I have just created something totally illogical.
I built a big porn studio in the back of my house in the hopes that the old dead stars would come. If you build a massive bed, they will come.
Ray Liotta makes a great shoeless Joe.
Are you a ghost?
What do you think? We find that his dad was a baseball player.
You build it, he will come.
God.
What is it?
It was a definite tearjerker.
Oh yeah, I cried in the movie.
It's my father. At the end, it's like, I love my dad. You just cry at the end. It's awful.
You really have to have ice running in your veins if that movie doesn't, at least make one little tiny tear.
I think I did feel a little something when you saw Field of Dreams. Yeah. Just a second.
People will come, Ray.
At the end, there's a traffic jam for hours trying to get to this baseball field.
His wife's like, I've got one toilet, I've got no toilet paper, I got no food. What are these people gonna do? We came, man. We're crashing in the master bedroom. Guys, get the out of my house and off my field.
Get out. One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game.
Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose under investigation for sports gambling.
Pete Rose, what an idiot. He gambled on baseball, he lost.
There was a huge controversy. I mean, Pete Rose, America's hero, was betting on his own games.
I made some mistakes.
I mean, he's a legend, as far as I'm concerned.
The guy hustled his rear off, for lack of a better term, and they call him Charlie Hustle.
2-1 pitch from Shaw into left center.
Ripped to right center.
There it is. Rose has a good stop. That's number 4,192.
I was surprised to find out that a professional athlete had done anything wrong. Hey, scuzzy steroid coke dealer who I also run numbers through and bets. I will not bet on baseball. I'm a manager of a major league team.
I did not bet on baseball.
Certainly bet on baseball. The question is to this day is whether he bet on the Reds. Pete still says he never bet on the Reds.
Got too much respect for the game. Too much love for the game.
Calling up the other managers, hey, who's not feeling well? You guys gonna win tonight?
Celebrated a lot of milestones in his career. He's got over 4,200 hits, the most of all time. He's had over 1,500 Prince Valiant haircuts over the course of his career.
I think they banned Pete Rose from baseball not because of his gambling, but because of his Mo Howard haircut.
They were so humiliated by that head of hair that they just said, get out. Don't ever come back.
You are too thick and swarthy with your hairstyles.
Raise your hand if you think Pete Rose should get off and join the Hall of Fame.
Get out. You're out, Rose.
Why don't you just say you did it and get into the Hall of Fame?
I did not bet on baseball.
Before you die.
Let him take his place at the table of Cooperstown. But don't let him decide who's hitting and who's pitching in the future.
Charlie Hustle in the 70s means really play hard out. Charlie Hustle in the 80s mean the Reds minus 3.5.
You got what I need. But you say he's just a friend. And you say she's just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need.
I love Just a Friend.
You say he's just a friend. But you say he's just a friend.
Oh, baby, you
got what I need.
When I first heard it, I was like, no, he is not trying to sing that. Is he trying? Okay, no, he's not trying to be on key.
The way that I met her was on tour at that concert.
He looked like a Mack truck ran into his face.
I was always worried that he was going to trip and fall and bite the tip of his tongue off.
Man, he's just a big clown.
I think he says something like, she had 9-10 pants and a very big bra.
She had 9-10 pants and a very big bra.
I think he ripped off the Rock Me Amadeus video concept, putting on the sort of Beethoven wig, if you will, and playing the piano.
And it was just like, Biz Marquis, come on, baby. Come on.
Got what I need.
Is he impaired?
I'm just wondering, because seriously, because I think he's a genius.
When Bismarcky first came out, you were like, have the Reagan mental health cuts gotten so bad that like mentally ill people are now having to earn their own living? This is wrong.
30-something is a show about self-absorbed people in their 30s and their problems.
You don't want to do anything around here, fine. Don't do anything.
Don't walk away from me!
30-something was sort of yuppie scum reaching critical mass.
What?
It was about a bunch of 30-somethings walking around being very self-indulgent and irritated.
Why do I feel like I'd rather be having a root canal done right now?
It was based on a classic novel called Will You Just Shut the F*** Up?
That was like my favorite show. Is there a redheaded dude that played in that show?
I like Timothy Busfield. He's not afraid to be uncool, and I kind of always like that.
TB, this is to you.
Why do you always do this?
You know what I'm saying, my redheaded brother?
No, honey, we'll do it later. Elliot!
What the hell's the matter with you?
Well, I don't know anything about being single and unattached and a ladies' man, but I can mess up a marriage.
When's the last time you guys made love, huh?
Open Michael with a beautiful couple.
It's okay to sleep. You'll still be miserable in the morning.
Ken Olin, I just wanted him to take off that suit, ruffle up that hair.
I'm throwing up now.
I don't know. Not attractive men on that show.
Hey. How you doing?
Hey.
Good to see you. I always got Peter Horton confused with the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Look at his hair!
Hey, wait. What's in there? This one going in.
Mel Harris, you look great. How old are you? 30-something. Ah, come on. Tell us the truth.
I hate everything.
Stop feeling sorry for me, Hope, okay?
Nobody was ever really fully happy. And the women were just like, They seemed a little medicated to me.
Nobody's judging you. It's 1989.
I sort of hoped that I could relate to the Melissa character.
I gotta get out of here. I feel a serious pimple about to erupt.
Wore the one earring, and I thought, what a great idea. You lose your favorite earring, you wear the one earring. Asymmetrical haircut, one earring. You look like an Don't do it.
Think you had to be 30-something to appreciate 30-something?
It touched so many home truths for so many people.
I wish they were now 50-something and I could hear about menopause for an hour each week.
I love you.
Awesome. I think I have a good lifestyle right now, and I think the people around me do also.
Die Yuppie Scum was the ultimate countercultural cry of the 80s.
At the time, I remember thinking, yuppie scum, until I got a little older and realized, you know what? I'm a yuppie.
I am a yuppie.
Hey, one make a lot of money.
I'm young, I'm urban, I'm almost professional.
I was more of a yuffie scum, which was the young urban up.
You're not going to live forever. So, yuppies are living hard, living fast.
They had very boring haircuts. They weren't great looking. They probably had glasses, and they clearly were making more money than they deserved.
I'm sure I slept with a few. I can't say they were classless, but they were totally tasteless.
I wanna be rich. I put myself and my needs first.
Drink cappuccino, have a cell phone, that big cell phone. That was kind of a yuppie thing.
Anybody that was successful and had a mobile phone was like a sort of figure of hatred.
The preferred car of a yuppie was certainly a BMW. Mercedes, flashy. A little flashy.
They're probably too materialistic and concerned with things.
I'm going to come in and buy up your neighborhood, and I'm buying a parking space for $350,000. Those yuppie guys.
Coming up, how about we just drive Miss Daisy into oncoming traffic?
What a crotchety old bitch.
Plus, Zsa Zsa Gabor gets busted for getting kinky.
I always thought the Zsa Zsa Gabor lapped the cop just because she likes it rough.
Okay. Orgasms, real or fake? You be the judge. Next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1989. And now for Donald Logue's unfinished thoughts on Pete Rose.
An addict is an addict is an addict. Yeah, I should know. Because I got a bit of a gambling problem myself. And I bet you that this part won't show. Yeah, I bet you 100 to 1. I bet you $200 that this doesn't air. Huh? I bet Pete Rose publicly $2,500 that this does not air.
gem of 1989.
As we go, a little something like this. Hit it. Come on. What's up, baby? This is Doug E. Fresh, having a good time with you. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. The hip-hop classic of 1989 is from Public Enemy #1, and the record is Don't Believe the Hype. Alright? Everybody say don't believe the hype.
Richard Marx was the king of the light pop song.
I remember Richard Marx. He was big when Kenny G was pimping the flute.
Who was listening to Richard Marx?
His songs were just like rubber stamped out of, the Pop Hall of Fame. Just like, boom, pop song, here you go.
He makes music for women or men who have lost their will to breathe.
I remember Richard Marx had kind of a Denny Terrio look to him.
I think I had similar hair at the time, which is probably why I remember him.
It was like a big feathered bang, but it was sculptured and it was a mullet. Richard, if you're trying to think he didn't have a mullet, he did.
It was like he went to the barber and said, look, all I need is a space for headphones to get under my ears while I'm recording. Everything else stays.
Oh, I love Right Here Waiting. It was just like the ultimate boyfriend longing song.
I remember being in a water park. Right Here Waiting comes on. It's like the makeout song. Everyone gets out of the pool, finds their girlfriend, makes out, and then they go back and get the pool,
I had a boyfriend at the time, and let's be honest, he really didn't want to be my boyfriend anymore, and I was just going to hold on forever and ever. And Right Here Waiting completely supported that.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you.
I wrote him so many times begging him to stop. Please, dude, for the love of rock and roll, just quit.
Get out. Miss Daisy, you needs a chauffeur. Lord knows I needs a job.
Driving Miss Daisy. I would have drove Miss Daisy crazy.
It was one of those movies where some people hated it and some people loved it.
Miss Daisy, I ain't done nothing.
I think the title of Driving Miss Daisy had us like, Miss Daisy should be driving you around. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not prejudiced. Driving Miss Daisy stars Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy, and Jessica is crashing into everything because she's, 300 years old.
She needed a driver.
Oh, cold drinks, huh?
And that's when Morgan Freeman, I guess, came to the house.
I don't need you.
And he's like, she paid me. I'm gonna, whether you gonna want me or not, I'm gonna drive it.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to drive you to the stove.
Go away.
And then finally she stops and gets in. That is such a pivotal scene in the movie.
This isn't the way.
Yes, it
Go
is.
back. Go back this minute. Backseat drivers are no fun. Get ready to turn. And that's what she was in this movie.
Daisy wasn't a cuddly, sweet grandmother type.
What do you think you're doing?
Miss Daisy.
Don't talk to me. I told you to have the air conditioning there.
Awesome.
Hush up. I don't want you nosing through my things.
What a crotchety old bitch.
Should have been like, listen, old lady, I'm gonna steal your Geritol if you don't shut up. Get it back and spee out.
You're a doodle, mama.
Dan Aykroyd was huge in this movie. Oh, his butt. He had these suspenders, mama.
I eat too much.
He blew up, literally.
What? Yes.
You're my best friend.
He becomes her family kind of against her will.
Did they end up having sex?
Just the two of us.
I didn't say I love him. I said he was handy.
The message of the movie is that if you're an old lady and you find yourself in a really bad mood and you have a black man working for you, well, let him work for you.
I can't believe in a country as great as ours that a 6'4" policeman can beat up a lady of 5'4".
When Zsa Zsa Gabor smacked a cop, it was a blow for rich, over-made-up ladies.
She got pulled over by a cop and thought he was rude to her, and she slapped him.
I didn't do anything wrong.
If you don't know who Zsa Zsa Gabor is, she's Ava's and Magda's sister. And Zsa Zsa Gabor is the least talented of the Gabor sisters.
Zsa Zsa didn't actually act. I think she She probably just slept with famous guys, right?
I couldn't do anything if I would want it.
Wasn't she from Poland or something like that? She was from somewhere. I think maybe Fantasyland.
Zsa Zsa Gabor escaped from Eastern Europe, which was living in terror in a police state, so she had a problem with authority. I always thought that Zsa Zsa Gabor slapped the cop just because she likes it rough.
Who among us hasn't wanted to punch a Beverly Hills cop?
I said, officer, you're so handsome, why do you do that to me?
He probably asked her, how come you haven't worked in a long time?
Strike a cop, you go to jail.
It's a real world out there, baby.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty.
Not made out of makeup and costumes and wigs, baby. You can't go slapping cops because they pull you over, okay? Nobody said action.
Why should I be embarrassed? You should be embarrassed.
Patience by Guns N' Roses. What a great video that is.
Everyone's playing acoustic guitar, and there's like a 1.5-minute whistle solo at the beginning.
The thing that struck me most about that song was how long Axl Rose could get away with whistling. And the other guys in the band, they just let him.
That was the one where they were in the studio, right? And he had the bandana and he rocked back and forth and he was so hot.
Sometimes the snake is about to strike, and sometimes it's just rolling across the sand.
Said sugar, make it slow, and we come together fine.
Slash, traipsing around a hotel with a snake around his neck.
Axl's doing his thing. Izzy's just looking cool like he always is.
There's a little bit of Curly from the Three Stooges in that song.
Rock and roll flowers. They were like on a little pedestal and it was a flower with sunglasses on and you played music and they started bopping to the music.
It's very sensitive. And so if you talk or you whistle, it goes crazy.
These were hot.
Straight out of Compton, with a named Ice Cube from the band called I Killed Nature.
Nice because you don't have to prune it.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real cool. Yo, hey, what's going on?
La 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 la.
I feel like you're misrepresenting the 80s somewhat if you say these were all the rage. I mean, they existed, but to imply somehow that these were on the same level as the Berlin Wall coming down might be a slight misrepresentation of the year.
Damn, that was dope.
Coming up, turns out Bo Jackson didn't know everything.
How to sustain a career in Major League Sports, Bo did not know so much.
Plus, why Delta Burke's road to fame was paved with ding-dongs.
You must know I'm on a diet and I'm not in a good mood.
Next, and I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1989. But first, this public service announcement.
What's it take, most valuable player?
Taken by Magic indeed, finger rolls it up, gets going!
It takes drive, determination, and a lot of team spirit. It's that same team spirit that makes the designated driver a most valuable player. So before you go to a game, choose a designated driver, someone you can count on to get you home safely. That's who gets my vote as most valuable player.
The designated driver, someone people really look up to.
Nerds of 1989.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Kenny Watanabe here, bringing you the nerds of 1989. Screech, Saved by the Bell nerd. Woody Allen, neurotic Nebuchadnezzar nerd. And Urkel, the nerd who used to say, "Did I do that?" The nerds of 1989. Trust me, the donger knows.
I'll say right now for the record, none of us ever had to work in any boutique anywhere.
Yes!
Again, one of the great albums of all time, Paul McCartney.
The Beastie Boys are totally real. They're just representing for us Jews. Very creative.
You got that kind of Italian-ish, Jewish, sort of smart, but more smart ass.
I love
love that Mike D's first entrance on the album was I'm Mike D and I'm back from the dead.
Take another record for people that want more of this.
Hurricane. We got clouds.
I'm walking on a string. I'm paid to sing and rhyme. I do my thing. I'm in a lava lamp. It's in my brain. Don't tell me I'm already freaking opinion. But I rock well.
I take a risk being a member of this group, so people should have to take a risk to listen to what this group does.
When Paul's Boutique came out, I don't think that sold very well at all.
Putting the word boutique on a rap album is like putting the word bidet on a rap album. It's too French, it's too fruity, it's too weird. What does Paul sell at his boutique? Not rap duds.
Hey, ladies! Funky. Hey, ladies!
Hey Ladies, to me, was my least favorite track on the record, actually. It seemed the most typically pre-Paul's Boutique Beastie Boys.
Except for the out-of-time cowbell.
They rocked the nerd style in the video.
They were like those rebellious kids at school, the guys you can't tame, but who make you laugh.
Still those wacky, zany, crazy beasties.
I wrote a fan letter to MCA when I was 14. I'm blonde. I have green eyes, 18 years old, lie, it's 14, and I didn't get a response. Thank God.
They weren't just like three white kids who happened to know how to yell.
That album was a classic album. It was like way before its time.
Bo was like the ultimate athlete. Everybody wanted to be Bo Jackson.
Great athlete, two-sport athlete, played for the Royals and the Raiders.
Bo was like king of the world.
Bonos, the Bonos ads.
Bo knows baseball.
Nike decided to launch a campaign around the fact that he both sports.
Bo knows Nike shoes.
Bo apparently knew everything. Trigonometry, Bo knows. Theoretical physics, Bo knows.
He could go to the moon. He could run for president. Bo knows everything.
Bo knows tennis. Bo knows basketball, too.
How to sustain a career in Major League Sports, Bo did not know so much. The one thing Bo maybe should have known about, Bo did not know.
Bo basically knew he had to make some money fast, because he was going to hurt himself at one sport or another. So he did, and good for Bo.
Bo, you don't know diddly.
Love designing women. You don't get shows anymore with 4 female leads, 5 if you count Anthony.
I forgot today's trash day.
He didn't add much testosterone for an ex-con.
Good evening, ladies.
Anthony's always trying to tell the women about his prison life.
When that kind of guy finds out that I've actually been in prison, enormous respect for him.
The 1980s saw a crack epidemic, and we saw huge numbers of young African-American men in American prisons, and designing women was an important discussion of that.
So what's your point?
Dixie Carter was running a designing company out of her Atlanta house.
Isn't it wonderful to see everyone so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Suzanne, I have just come from the bank, and I'm in no mood for your assessment of my tail.
Delta Burke, of course, went on to be famous for becoming fat.
I'm eating rice cakes already. What do you people want from me? Just lay off!
Delta Burke's look tended to fluctuate, as in massively contracting and expanding from episode to episode.
If you must know, I'm on a diet and I'm not in a good mood. She was so over the top. How would you like a fat lip? Suzanne, if sex were fast food, there'd be an arch over your bed.
I actually liked her the best because she was just so self-centered. It was hysterically funny.
The problem with that would be, of course, if they all cycled together.
Where are we going to go again?
Everywhere.
Newsock would have also cycled with them, too. I think he turned into a woman by the end of the program.
No one's ever said that to me before.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I always enjoyed those commercials where they would bite into it and then have the sensation. I get the sensation of cold, crisp mountain air against my face as I race towards liftoff in the whole world championship ski jump.
Didn't they everyone spontaneously orgasm when they had a York peppermint patty?
It's a delicious dessert that makes me
If you had a girl over your crib and you had York peppermint patties, it was on because it got the cool sensation.
Get the York sensation. I get the sensation of two women at the same time.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I'm on a bobsled in the Arctic.
Arctic air is swooping in from the north.
When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation of eating Charlie Brown's girlfriend.
York peppermint patty. Get the sensation.
Call me Chuck. Sorry.
House of Style was about all things cool and hip and what you need to buy and what you need to know.
You don't need a fashion magazine to tell you that the big summer fashion story this year, as always, is swimwear.
I had no interest in fashion, but I watched House of Style every week because of Cindy Crawford.
She was fantastic. Oh, I loved her.
I watched it for Cindy Crawford, of course, like everybody else did. In fact, I think we watched it with the mute button on.
So that's what sharpshooters will be wearing this fall.
When she spoke, it was like listening to a metronome.
It would be the same through the whole same tone.
Welcome back to House of Style. I'm Cindy Crawford.
Welcome to House of Style. I'm Cindy Crawford.
Coming up, we have a report on what to wear back to school and a visit with the wildest furniture designer since the Flintstones.
Did I pick up any fashion tips from Cindy? Nothing we can talk about here.
No, I got sexual healing from Cindy.
She was like one of the first, supermodels.
I always thought she was like a work of art.
Cindy's probably been on every billboard and every cover that's ever existed.
There was this whole time when it was all about Cindy Crawford and that mole.
Oh, Cindy Crawford's mole? Rad. I like that mole.
Millions of us believe that it was a fake mole.
I still want to know if that mole's an implant.
It's a beauty mark, isn't it? Don't call it a mole, it's a beauty mark.
Oh, yeah, I like the beauty mark.
Cindy Crawford, yes, please. 2, please.
Choose Your Own Adventure books were amazing because you could pick your own ending.
They're little, usually fantasy books that you would read to a certain point and then would go, if you want to kick the dragon in the balls, go to page 86. Page 86. You have died.
You could stay for another dig and gather more evidence against Mr. Belton and Mr. Yardley. Sounds like a Scooby-Doo plot.
If you turn to see what's behind you, turn to page 12. If you follow Spike into the tapestry, turn to page 14. I love the decorative arts. I'll go for the tapestry.
If you think the butler did it, go to page 27. If you think you did it and you're not gonna get away with it, go to page 35. 35. You've been arrested.
What would usually happen is I'd read it, die, then read the whole thing, work out which was the right ending, and then read it again.
You go back and then say, okay, what happens if I, go down the cave with Professor...
If you are going back in the time machine, go to page 32. And I'd flip to page 32 and I'd just sort of peek and I'd see that I was going to die.
I always chose the adventure that made me die in the end because I always wanted to check out the bad door.
It was just like my real life. It was just like I could not make a right decision.
Coming up, in what universe does Billy Crystal get to bang Meg Ryan?
Oh, I wish I could find somebody like Billy Crystal. Which is such a weird kind of thing to say. What?
Important questions raised by When Harry Met Sally. Next on I Love the 80s Strikes Back, 1989. But first, the what the f moment of 1989.
In 1989, 87-year-old Carrie Stringfellow was brought to a Springfield, Ohio funeral home in a body bag and was about to be embalmed when the mission realized she was actually alive. Listen, I've been to Springfield, Ohio, and this lady would have been better off staying there. Hospital people, what the f?
Why don't you tell me the story of your life?
Harry Met Sally is like one of the best movies ever.
Sally, this is Harry Burns. Harry, this is Sally Albright.
Harry meets Sally driving across country. He just finds her absolutely annoying.
You're probably one of those cheerful people who dots their eyes with little hearts.
My favorite part of that movie is when they're in college, but they're still in their 40s.
Obviously, you haven't had great sex yet.
Meg Ryan just became the cutest thing ever in that.
It just so happens that I have had plenty of good sex.
Like to wipe that cute right off that face. I mean in a perverted way.
Meg Ryan's character is a tidbit anal.
I'd like the chef salad, please, with the oil and vinegar on the side and the apple pie a la mode. But I'd like the pie heated, and I don't want the ice cream on top. I want it on the side.
I don't want the cheese on the burger. I'd like the cheese on the side. And I actually don't want a burger. What I'm looking for is tuna fish.
You're a very attractive person.
You're just going to be friends, okay?
Men and women cannot be friends. That was a central theme of the movie.
Men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
Of course they can. If you're single and they're pretty, okay, it becomes a little tougher.
That's not true.
If you're an ugly guy and the woman's like, no, I think of you more like a brother. Like, stick in there for 20, 30 years. You'll get some.
Someone is staring at you in personal growth.
Carrie Fisher in her most prominent post-Star Wars role, which is a little weird for everybody watching. Like, why doesn't she have Danishes on the side of her head? Bruno Kirby, which is, Billy Crystal liked.
You made a woman meow?
I'm so excited.
That scene where Meg Ryan faked an orgasm.
Are you okay?
That scene was actually very difficult for Billy Crystal, who had never witnessed a woman having an orgasm before.
That was when Meg Ryan became like a real movie star, and you saw this talent.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's my message to ladies everywhere. How dare you fake an orgasm?
I'll have what she's having.
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
But in a good way.
When she goes, and I'm gonna be 40
And I'm gonna be 40.
in 8 years.
Well, it's there. It's just sitting there like this big dead end.
And they wind up having sex with each other. She's just in heaven. And he's lying there, like, desperate to leave.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. And the thing is, I love you.
It's one of those movies where you're like, oh, I wish I could find somebody like Billy Crystal, which is such a weird kind of thing to say. What?
I think it is the movie that made Billy Crystal sexy. Like, he's like, no.
You could say that the 80s was nothing but a fake orgasm.
Yes! Oh!
Can I have a cigarette now?
Because there's something about you.